Hello everybody. So today I'm going to share with you the 13 abundance rules for New Earth entrepreneurs. If you're new to my channel, my name is John Patrick Muller. I used to be a Buddhist monk and professional counselor, and then I built my business, first a marketing agency and then a spiritual coaching business. Took what I learned from this and turned it into a service where I helped other heart-centered New Earth entrepreneurs, healers, coaches, etc. to create wealth and abundance by doing the things that they love. And so if you want some help with this, you can click below and find out how we can help you build your own New Earth empire. Okay, and so I'd like to get into this. So here are the 13 abundance rules for New Earth entrepreneurs, and this comes from me looking backwards in time and figuring out what did I do that helped me reach 5-figure months in a new business on the first month. Right? And then, 10K, 30K, 50, 80K months in a brand new business. What was it that helped me to do this and helped dozens of my clients reach 20K months and even more, reach 10K months, 5K months, etc. And including some people having 50K days, 60K launches, 200K launches. I've helped a lot of people do a lot of things, and there's some rules, there's some principles that would be really, really helpful for you guys to learn. And if you do learn them, I think, and just like follow the ones that resonate, you can leave the rest behind. This is like a buffet, right? In a buffet, I can leave amazing things out on the table, but I don't feel bad if you don't try everything and you don't feel pressure to take everything. You just take what you like and you leave the rest behind. And if you like something, you can take more and more and more. Okay, and so that's what I'm offering here for you today. Okay, so I wrote out a couple things. These are some principles or rules, right, for abundance, and let's get into it. Okay, so the first one is kind of obvious. Find a hot market. Find a hot market. That means find people who are already buying the things that you want to be selling, right? If you try to sell something that's completely new and revolutionary to people who have never bought that kind of thing before, it's going to be difficult to make them buy it, right? It'll be a lot of forcing, coercing, like that's not a hot market. A hot market means there's already a stream there and you're just going to follow the flow of the stream. You're not trying to go upriver, you're going with the flow. And there's already a market of people who buy things. For example, if you were to go to like a local farmer's market or like an outdoor market where people buy and sell different things, and you were to see that people love buying fruit and vegetables and plants and homemade crafts, right? And you were to go and try to sell video games at that market, you would find it probably to be an uphill battle, even if you love video games. And so if you decide that you want to tap into that market, you just sell something that is similar to what they're already buying. And then guess what? Some people will just come to you as long as you look like you're pretty good at what you do, right? And so this is something that a lot of us actually miss. We start with, well, it's okay to start with, this is what I love, this is what I really want to do. That's okay to start with. But then you have to actually go and look for a market of people who are already buying that kind of stuff. And most likely, you might have to become a buyer of those kinds of things so that you can start to really understand the market and what's available and the buying psychology and what is the process that they're using and what are they actually selling and what does their marketing look like, right? You may have to start to become a buyer of the things that are similar to what you are going to be selling. It's a really high level research, actually. So we find a hot market, and you don't have to, it's kind of like you're balancing two worlds, right? You don't just go and find a hot market and then you sell them something. Like you kind of do start with, what do I love? And then you find people who are already selling it and you plug in, and you want to make sure it's hot. You want to make sure that people love spending money on these things, right? A few years ago, coaching, online healing, that kind of stuff really, really took off around the pandemic. For me, is when it just exploded, right? Everyone had to be inside. Everyone had to be on their computer, right? People were plugged into the internet more than ever before that I had ever experienced. And so it became a really, really hot offer for me to help other people build their online coaching or healing business. That was my offer. It was a very, very hot market, right? I wasn't necessarily, when I started that, I was not the best at that thing. But yet I had 10K months, 30K months, 40, 50K months, etc. because I was plugged into a market of people who are really, really wanting to buy something related to this. And over time, I did become one of the best in this field. And I do think that we are the best now, but that wasn't like it when I started. I stuck with it for like 5 years and I became really, really good at it. But it took me about 6 months to like really find my flow and for my clients to start having epic results. At first, we were just average. I was with a business partner. We were both talented at it and we helped them, but we were not the best. But yet we still had 10K months and 30K months, right? And so you want to start finding, and this is why you need to hire a coach, because they can start to show you, here's what we see is working now. They have all this experience of helping all these clients and they can see this is working, this is working, this is working. And then they help you to plug into markets that are already there. Very important, okay? So we find a hot market. And number two, this is almost like an extension of number one. You might want to consider selling to business owners. Okay, so this is number two. Consider selling to business owners. Why? Why would you sell to business owners? Well, business owners usually are the ones out of everybody who can see a return on investment more easily than other people, right? So a business owner, if you were to take your service, maybe you help people find their soul purpose or their higher calling. Maybe you help people heal ancestral blockages, right? Blockages to their energy field. Maybe you help people with shadow work and releasing trauma. Maybe you help people with meditation and getting into flow state. In all these examples, if you were to apply that to a business owner, you could present a case for how that will help them to grow their business, right? Get in line with your purpose, and therefore your career and your purpose will be the same thing. And therefore all the energy that will flow into you to help you accomplish your purpose will then come into you to help your career. And then your career will have limitless energy behind it, like a wind in your sails, and you'll have a lot better career and you'll be more joyful and happy at the same time and successful, right? And so you just take what you're already doing and you find a way to pitch it to a business owner and show them how it will help them to have success and abundance in their business. And then because they can see, a good business owner, someone who's making money in their business, will see that there's a real tangible, like an actual living return on investment, like not a fictitious one, but like practically they could literally see that they would be earning thousands of dollars more or even more than that, right? It could be thousands of dollars per month more, right? Like little tweaks can make a huge difference to someone who's already pointed in the right direction with momentum. Okay. And so hopefully that's clear, right? Oppose this with the opposite, right? If you were to help somebody who's living out on the street with their hands out looking for money, right? They're like, maybe they've been living on the street for a while, their mind isn't right. If you were to help them, it could take you, several years of trying to support them just to get them to like a state of kind of almost normal. But if you were to take that, if you were to like help someone who already has momentum, they have abundance, they have positive energy, they're going in the right direction, they have momentum behind them in the right direction, they're smart. If you were to help a person like this, even in just a few hours, imagine how big of a difference you could make to them, right? It's like trying to take a rocket and push it when it has no juice, no fuel, or trying to like, if there's a rocket already going, you change the angle 1 degree, huge difference in the destination, right? And so that was an analogy to try to help you understand that like, when you help a business owner who's already making money, it'll be very easy to explain and show them how there's a return on investment, which will make your service a lot more easy to justify, a lot more easy to sell. Plus, business owners are easier to find than other people generally, unless you're tapped into like specific communities, which is a good idea. Please do find very specific, narrow, tight, niched communities that have your ideal clients in them. But aside from that, business owners are easier to find than everybody else because they're advertising their services. Business owners are using social media on purpose to put themselves out there, to try to attract ideal clients, to do collaborations. They're a lot more visible than anybody else on social media, which means they're a lot easier to find, which means you can reach out to them directly. You don't have to just rely on posting and praying. You could actually start to message people. You can target them specifically. You can comment on their stuff. You can DM them, right? You can get conversations started because you can identify who they are because they're not hiding. Okay, and so those are a couple important reasons to sell to business owners. That was number 2. Number 3 is really important, especially if you're in the beginning. Provide a service. Provide a service, which means you sell before you deliver, right? A service is something that is sold before you deliver. A service is something that I would say by definition, people are going to need again and again and again, right? And so when you sell a service, you're getting someone who could become a client for a long time. But the most important thing here is that you sell before you create. A lot of people take their own time, their own energy, and they build a product first. They build a digital course, they build a book, they build a workbook, they build things that are complicated. And all those are products, right? And a product is something that is helpful if you are looking to save time, right? Products are good, but that's not the way to start. You start by selling a service to a hot market, which means you can actually go and sell it today, right? You could sell your service today or tomorrow. And so all you need is a good presentation of what your service is going to be. And so if you want help with that, that's where my business can help you, my company. So we can help you to craft a presentation that includes your message, that sort of outlines the different steps of how you can help somebody. You share with them your secret sauce of like what makes you different and better and why they should work with you. You package it all up, you present it, and then you can start selling your service for more and more money because the presentation is good, right? So you take the effort, and instead of building your whole video course or product or book, you focus it on crafting a presentation for your service. And the presentation doesn't have to be long. It could be a 10-minute presentation, and it doesn't have to take you a long time to do it. It may take you, a weekend or a couple of weeks to do it really, really well. To actually like finalize it just takes a short time. You could literally take 30 minutes and craft a pretty decent presentation. And then when you have a presentation, it allows you to sell things that are a little bit more expensive. It allows you to bundle sessions together and sell like a 6-pack of sessions or a 12-pack or a 3-month offer instead of one session at a time, if that makes sense. And so a presentation allows you to bundle it all together, slap a price on it that's like $1,000 or more, and then you can start getting clients who pay you $1,000 instead of $100 or $200, which is really, really helpful for being able to continue your impact over time. If you're not making that much money from each client, that means that you have to always be looking out for new clients, which takes too much energy. It's better to take that energy, put it into crafting a short presentation, and then sell a little bit higher ticket prices like $1,000, $3,000, etc. And this is what I can help you do. If you want my help with this, just kind of reach out to us, and I'll help you kind of for free on one call. It's like a mini session. Okay, I'll help you for free. You can see our presentation, and then if you want more help, we can show you what that looks like. Okay, so below you'll find something about that. Okay, and so you provide us this advice changed my life. I want you to kind of really take this in. You get to sell it before you create it. you get to sell it before you create it. Now, you may have an outline, you may create an outline of what it's going to be, but you didn't create anything yet, which frees you up to sell it now, right? You sell it based on a promise, right? This is how businesses operate. You make promises. One person gives you money, which is basically a promise of value. You know, money isn't true value, is it? Money is a promise of value. It's a note that represents energy that can be traded for value. It's like a promissory note, right? Money is not true value. You cannot actually use it for anything other than trading it for someone who interprets it as value, right? And so money is just a promise of value. And when you sell, you're giving something that is also a promise of value. And then both parties are now obligated to fulfill their promise, and money will probably keep working. And then you just have to follow through on what you promised. And that's actually how people prefer to do business. That's actually better than creating it ahead of time. When you create something ahead of time, what happens mostly is that you don't know if people really want what you've just created. So you put all this time in, it's wrapped in expectations, you haven't learned how to market or sell yet usually, and so you end up with a very poor marketing presentation, a very poor sales presentation, but you have tons of expectations. You may even have a lot of urgency because maybe you're running out of money or time and you need some more money or time, and this is not a good environment to try to build your business in. And a lot of times we didn't build something that people really wanted. We built something that we think they needed. We built something that we think they needed, but how often do people buy things that they need, right? People don't buy what they need unless they also want it, right? People do not ask for what they need unless they want it, usually. They have to want it too. People invest their money in things that they want. And sometimes those are also things that they need, right? But it takes a wise person to understand, to actually want the things that we need. A lot of times we want things that we don't need, okay? And so it is not good. Just like, I'll give you an analogy. When I first became a substance abuse counselor, I was like this psychology guy, right? I thought I was like a therapist. I wanted to become a therapist. And I would go around trying to like help people. I remember talking to my brother. I have a little brother. And I remember talking to him. And he was like telling me a story. And I was like trying to like help him find like the lesson. Here's the moral lesson. Here's like the takeaway that you can find in your story. And he's like, there doesn't always have to be a lesson. I was just trying to tell you a story, right? And even when I first got involved in Buddhism and meditation, I tried to like run around and help people and like teach them stuff. Like, no one's gonna want to talk to you if you're always running around trying to give people what you think they need, right? This is the opposite of attraction. This is repulsive. This is repelling, right? People are repelled by that type of energy because ultimately, a lot of times we're actually doing it for ourselves. We think we're helping people with what they need, but there's a part of us that wants to be useful, usually, right? And so it's kind of the same case for like building a product or building a course or something that we think people need. That's not really the right energy. First, we want to find out what people really want. And so the best way to do that is to build an audience and then to kind of start selling services. And the coolest thing about selling a service is that you can sell it today, deliver it tomorrow, but you get paid today. And if nobody buys it, you get to tweak it and sell something different without taking any of your own energy, right? And so this is what I would do is I would just like use organic marketing, put out some posts, hop on some calls with people, you know, DM people, hop on calls. And I would just start talking to people and like I would make them a pitch, right? I would like ask them what they want, ask them what they need, present the little offer. And if people start buying it, then I know I found something. Then I found my offer, I found my message, right? And then I can use that to build a presentation that people watch before my call. But if people don't buy it, then I don't build a presentation. I just tweak the offer or I tweak the message or I tweak both, right? Usually you tweak the offer first and then if the offer is good, you'll probably get some sales, right? And then you keep presenting the offer, but if people don't get it when you first explain it, that means you have to tweak your message, right? You know, people will buy a good offer. And so if no one's buying it, it's because of the offer. But then if some people buy it, but a lot of people tell you, I don't get it. And you're like, I must be not explaining this right. Then you keep tweaking your message, not the offer, the message, until the message matches what people, you know, want and need and how they think. And then you'll get a lot more people saying yes, yes, yes. And then, you know, you found something. And then that message becomes part of your presentation. And it becomes part of your marketing on social media to get people to the presentation, to get them to the call, to tell them your offer. Okay, so that's kind of the process here. And this is all going back to create, sell it before you create it so that you can tweak it without having to put extra energy into something. And then once you've done all that and people keep buying your service, at that point, you may, as you're delivering your service, it's the same thing. As you start delivering your service, you may realize, oh my God, I tell everybody this thing, and this thing. I keep saying the same things. I keep teaching people all these things. Maybe I should make a little mini course that teaches that. And so then you take a weekend and you film a 6-video mini course where you lay some foundations and help people, but you know exactly who you're talking to. You're talking to clients that you already have, and you've already listened to them and understood what they actually need. And you make them something very specific for them. And then that goes in a membership area, not as a separate or standalone product, but as a complement, at least at first. It's a complement to a service that helps you to save time. If there's 2 or 3 hours of video, that's 2 or 3 hours less than you have to talk to each client, right? So if you have 10 clients, that's 20, 30 hours that you've just saved. If you have 100 clients, you know, that's 200 or 300 hours that you just saved. If you have 1,000 clients, that's 2,000 or 3,000 hours. No, that's 20 or 30,000 hours that you just saved, okay? And so think about it like that, right? Sorry, no, not 20. 2,000 or 3,000 hours that you just saved, right? And so that's how you build a product, is you start with the service and you kind of learn as you deliver. You learn what people need and then you create something, okay? So that's why number 4 is create a product when you have extra money and time. So when you have some extra money from doing your service, when you have extra time, somehow, maybe it's because you raised your prices and you are not, you know, killing yourself as you deliver. Maybe you raise your prices to $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000, and maybe you're only doing a few clients a month. You have plenty of extra time. At this time, with some extra money, extra time, and knowledge, I should really include that here. You need specific knowledge of your clients and what they actually need through talking to them and helping them. At that point, create a product, right? You need money, time, and knowledge, right? To like specific industry knowledge, like practical. And then you create a simple digital product, a workbook, a video course, both, whatever, right? You make something like this, audios, and then that becomes a complement to your service. And it's not a replacement of your service at the moment, right? Eventually, maybe it can be, but having a product that can function standalone is actually harder. Having a product that just complements a service is kind of easy, and it's risk-free because your clients will still get good results because they still get a service. Maybe they get less sessions. Maybe now you don't need to give 12 sessions. Maybe you just give 6 or 8 or 4 sessions because they have a digital product that walks them through some of the steps. Do you see that? So the product will save you time, right? The product costs some money usually to get, but it saves you time, right? Whereas the service takes your time, but you can make a lot of money doing it. You can offer it when you have you don't need any money to start a service, okay? And so number 5 is kind of 3 things: lead, build communities, and follow impulses for impact. So number 5 is 3 things: lead. So leading is kind of what you do to your team, is what you do to your potential clients, is what you do to your clients, is what you do in the field. You become a leader. You need to like take on this energy of leadership and step into it. It's extremely important. And as you build a team and as you talk to anyone, you need to be a leader, and then you need to be seen as a leader as well. And so leading, very important. Building communities is part of this. So Again, I'm grouping them together because I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail on each one, but like build communities. Take it upon yourself to start building communities. This is going to help you to grow your business. This is going to help you to have impact. This is going to help you to feel fulfilled. This is going to help you to actually reduce competition. Because if you have a community of people that love you and recognize you as an expert that they care about, that they know cares about them, then when you make offers, they're not going to compare you to everybody under the sun. They're just going to figure out if they need or want or can afford your offer right now. They're not going to compare you to everyone else. But if you don't have a community and you try to sell, people will compare you to lots of other people because that's what buyers do. Buyers love to get the best deal. But if someone's already following you, they will very likely work with you if you make them the right offer at the right time, okay? And so building communities is extremely important. Plus, it's kind of like easy to be positioned as an expert within your own community, right? If you take the effort to build a community, that is a leadership activity. And so by acting as a leader, even as in a free community, people will start to see you as a leader, which means that they feel like you're worthy of receiving their money, okay? And that's extremely helpful. So that was 2, and then 3, follow your impulses for impact. I kind of, again, group these together because they're kind of related. They're very important. So impulses for impact. A lot of us get an impulse like for impact. Like we think, we have like an itch. We want to go help. We want to serve. We want to provide this. We want to offer that. We want to teach this. When you have those impulses, just follow them. And you don't need to try to monetize it right away. The more systems that you create around your impact, the more it can kill the impulse. Sometimes if you have the impulse, you just got to get it out. This is something that has served me really, really well. You can't always, like sometimes a system is too much structure. It will crush the flow. It will stifle the organic flow. And sometimes trying to monetize, it adds too much friction to that flow, and it makes it so that impact will never be received. Sometimes when you have that true impulse, it's better to just help people. Don't think about monetizing necessarily. Don't slow yourself down. Don't add too many systems and automations to try to like make it fancy or whatever. Don't think about sustainability or like, can I keep doing this forever? Nobody asked you if you could do it forever. That wasn't one of the questions. The question is, does your heart tell you to do this right now? And if the answer is yes, if you're really being pulled, just follow it without asking questions and without adding obstacles in your own way, like systems, structures, automation, or monetization, okay? You need to get your value into the hands and hearts of others. That's part of building a community, and that's part of being seen as a leader. If you can get something that is valuable into the hands, into the hearts of somebody else, they will then see you differently. They will see you as a person who has value. They will see you as a person that they want to have a relationship with. And then in the future, if you ask them for something like, join my program or whatever, they'll do it. A lot of them will do it because they've already received something and now they're willing to give. This is how life works, right? So there's a story that illustrates this. Maybe I shouldn't tell the full story, but the short version is a Buddhist teacher wasn't having any students come to his classes. So he went out and his teacher told him to throw, bird seed or like feed the birds. So he went out every day and threw seeds, and eventually it fed all the birds. And he did this for years. And about, 18, however many years later, some years later, students started showing up to all his classes and he had the biggest attendance ever. But it's because all the birds took rebirth as people and they reincarnated as a person. And then they had a karmic connection with him. So they took rebirth near him and they started to attend his classes because they'd already received something from him. Now they wanted to come and receive more. And so when you give, you build a relationship, like a karmic relationship. Karma doesn't mean bad. Karma just means a connection, right? You build a cause and effect connection. So you've given to someone and now there's a connection there. They've generated positive emotions towards you through your giving. And those positive emotions towards you create a karma that they have with you. And now they're going to want to keep coming. They're going to want to receive more, that kind of thing. Okay? And so if you do have an impulse for impact, try to make it as easy as possible to get it out there, right? That's why I'm doing this, right? Right now, I'm filming a video on a tripod, on a phone. There's no microphone. I'm not in a studio. I have some lighting, but this is just a normal iPhone, right? And when I upload this, I'm gonna make 0 edits. I'm gonna make 0 cuts. I'm not gonna do anything fancy. I don't know how to do anything fancy. I don't take the time because sometimes I just have an impulse for impact. Like I'm making this for specific clients who I know need this message. Does that make sense? I know they need it. And so I'm making it because I had an impulse for impact. And I decided to put it together and I came up with extra stuff so that it would be a more complete video. And I'm giving it away. Wherever you see this is where it is. But it's not fancy because if I made it fancy, if I made it too fancy, I wouldn't be able to get it out, right? But by getting it out, I make a connection with someone and then they become open, right? If you make a connection with someone and give them, they usually become open to something else. It doesn't mean they're going to do it, but it means they're open. And then if you make them a good offer or if you have a good message or if you make them an invitation at the right time, people might say yes, right? And so you have to make it simple for yourself. You must make it simple. I see too many people trying to be too fancy in the beginning. When you have extra money and time, sure, be a little bit fancy. But if you don't, you have to just get it out there. Get it into the hands and hearts of those who need it, because that's what moves the needle. There's an energetic phenomenon that happens by you giving value and someone receiving it. That is the first step to any business, is that. And then there's a pathway to a conversation about any next steps. Okay, and so that was number 5, was lead, build communities, and follow your impulses for impact. Okay, number 6, take imperfect action every day. Take imperfect action every day. Okay, so I think I'm gonna actually make this into 2 separate videos because I kind of feel like that's enough, but we'll end on this point here. Take imperfect action every day. Imperfect action, in order to take it, it has to be imperfect. If it's perfect, then you won't take it. Okay, don't take perfect action. It doesn't exist. Only take imperfect action. Okay, so before you're considering an action, just check, is this perfect or imperfect? And if it's perfect, then you probably shouldn't take it. Okay, but if it is imperfect, then go for it. Okay? And so when you see that something that you do is going to look imperfect, that's a sign that you should take the action, because imperfect action is what leads you to the right results, whereas perfect action is what leads you to stay in plastic, they call it. Like imagine that you're like an action figure. You're a beautiful god or goddess action figure. You're a superhero action figure, or you're a Barbie doll action figure, right? You're a Ken doll, Barbie doll. You're in plastic. You're wrapped in plastic, in packaging. There's some fancy lettering on the side of it, and you're on a shelf. Perfect action leads you to that state because there's no such thing, and so therefore you never take it. Okay, so if that's what you want, if you want to remain in that state, then yes, put your action on a pedestal and don't take it until it's perfect. But if you want to get your hands dirty, if you want to get your value into the hands and hearts of others, if you want to be a person that creates movements and creates waves and has people in your audience that follow you, that love you, in fact, they're going to love you more for being relatable. They're going to love you more that you're like them. People look on social media because they want imperfect role models. People watch reality TV shows because they want the raw and the real stuff. They don't want scripted. They want raw, real, somebody who's like me. That's why people, again, why is social media so popular? It's a phenomenon, right? Social media is something that wasn't really a thing, when I was growing up. It wasn't really a thing. It happened in college for me, is when Facebook kind of took off. there wasn't anything such as social media. There really wasn't. It became a thing because it's so popular. People loved it. But why? It's because they'd rather look at their friends' lunches and cats than watch a TV show about something fake. Okay? And so remember that you are the role model. You get to be a celebrity. You get to be a reality TV star. And you should use your social media to broadcast yourself as like a reality TV star. You're a mini celebrity now. Okay? And you can show the example of what the ideal client's life wants to look like. Like whatever the aspirations are of your dream clients, whatever lifestyle they want, if you can show that you're already living that lifestyle, and notice I said show. Like it's not that you're already living it or not already living it. If you show that you are, then they will develop aspiration towards you and they're going to want to know how. They're going to say, big question mark, how? How did you get there? And then you can say, well, I did these 3 things. I did these 5 things. I did these 10 things, right? So half of your social media content is you literally just showing or demonstrating that you are living the lifestyle that your ideal client wants. Half. And so that means A, you have to actually go and do it. And B, you have to actually take out your phone and film yourself, take a little selfies. Take a picture here, take a picture there. Everywhere you go, take photos and selfies and pictures of things that are not yourself. But a lot of them really should be selfies. And just store them on your phone. Don't do anything with them. Just put them on your phone. Don't go post them in a dump. Does that, you know what I mean? Like a dump means like where you just post all your photos all at once. Don't do that. Save them and use like 1 at a time or, 2 or 3 max per post. And like mindfully, pair them with a message that resonates. So like you type out a little message and you're like, what photo should I use for this? And then you go look through your photos and you find a good one. Boom, there it is, right? And so hopefully some of that is obvious, but maybe it's not. But anyway, the only way you're going to get there is by taking imperfect action. If you don't feel like you're living the lifestyle that your ideal client wants right now, you have to start showing it more. You have to start like, you ever hear like fake it till you make it? It's not faking it. It's stepping into the future result now as a means of creating it. This is the difference. You need to have a clear enough conscience. You need to believe in the reality of kind of creation and existence enough to know that you can step into a future result now and embody it and live it now as a means of creating it, not because it's already there. On one level, it is already there. It's just in the future. But you step into it now, you bring it into the now, and you put yourself in the future, and then you live it now. This is what a lot of people call mindset. A lot of people struggle with mindset when they can't do that. They stay stuck in the past. They think their past equals their present equals their future. But here, we're taking the future and we're making it equal the present. And then when you get good enough, you actually start remembering your past in a way that matches your future. You start remembering the past, not with old stories that keep you stuck like chains with balls attached to them, balls and chains or whatever, heavy weights. Instead of your past stories being that, you have a future that is clear, that you've already stepped into, that is your present, and then you remember the past in a way that corresponds with this. And you'll say things like, I just wasn't ready, but now I am. Or, you just start remembering it with perspective that makes you feel free in the moment and that makes you feel like the future exists, right? That's mindset. That's like the best mindset. Okay, so you just start doing that more. And you take action from that place and you start speaking from that place. Everyone that you meet, you say this, right? While I was launching a spiritual coaching business, before I had any success, I met up with a nun who was in my Buddhist tradition. And she said, I told her that I wanted to be doing spiritual coaching. And she said, just start, just do it. And don't tell people that you want to do it. Just say, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Right? And so if you want to do something, just say, I'm doing it. Just claim it now. I'm doing it. I'm already doing it. All right. I'm already doing it. No one's going to fact check you. Nobody cares. And the thing is that you can create the future now by speaking it and by believing in it. Okay? And so believe in it now and take imperfect action from that place. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful. Again, if you want some support with your lifestyle, with your business, to build a new earth empire and create the new earth evolution in your life, then you can click below, book a call with us. We're happy to talk to you, and you can maybe watch some of our other free content. And that way we can see if you're a good match, a good fit to join our programs. Okay, can't wait to work with you. If you're ready, you can click below and have a great day. Talk to you soon.